Great friends. One of them is the great one, Wayne Gretzky. I said, run for prime minister, you'll win it'll take 2 seconds. But he said, well, am I going to run for prime minister or governor? You tell me.
When they attack our country, when they attack our people, when they attack the jobs of the hardworking Canadians, you can't sit back and say, keep attacking. You have to hit back with every single tool we have.
Whether it's words from Greenland residents responding to Trump's quest to acquire the Danish territory.
I hate it. And basically, I don't know what he's aiming at.
Or this now viral gesture from Canadian leader Doug Ford, which resulted in, quote, overwhelming response from customers seeking to purchase the hat. It appears that the world are rallying behind the same sentiment as Donald Trump readies himself to be sworn in. They want nothing to do with MAGA.
We need them for economic security. People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security. That's for the free world. I'm talking about protecting the free world. And if Denmark wants to get to a conclusion, but nobody knows if they even have any right, title, or interest. The people are going to probably vote for independence or to come into the United States.
Deal for you. You think we want to be the 51st state? Nah, but maybe California would like to be the 11th province. How about it? Because this is what you deal. Have we got a deal for you? This is what you get. Free healthcare.
After Trump made it no secret his wishes to annex Greenland and the Panama Canal, not ruling out military force, and threatened economic turmoil regarding his wish to make Canada a state, there has been notable responses across the board. First, this from Danish leader Aja Chemnitz.
People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security.
Of course, everybody is interested in hearing what is Greenland's position. And Greenland is not for sale. Greenland will never be for sale. We're well aware of the importance that Greenland has, but we're not for sale, and it's not up to US to decide what's going to happen. It's up to the Greenlandic population. Greenland is not mega. Greenland is not going to be mega. But I think the majority in Greenland, they find it quite scary, actually, and quite uncomfortable that there's so much focus on Greenland and that US is actually, in a disrespectful way, showing that they would like to be buying Greenland or controlling Greenland. That is not what the population in Greenland wants.
And this comes as the Prime Minister of Denmark held a meeting with Trump in the wake of his dangerous remarks regarding the Danish territory. This is a serious situation, she told a press briefing. Quote, the Americans have suggested that unfortunately we could find ourselves in a situation where we work less together than we do today in the sphere of economics. Fredrickson, who is preparing to meet with leaders of Denmark's largest companies as this video has been recorded, stated this as Donald Trump only further ramps up his efforts. According to the Prime Minister's office, she told Trump, quote, that it is up to Greenland itself to decide on independence, further echoing the Greenlandic Prime Minister's statement that, quote, Greenland is not for sale.
80% ice Greenland, population only 57,000. You were on the ground there. Did the people there that you spoke with and interacted with, did they seem interested in the idea of getting closer to the United States and maybe being liberated from Denmark, who's had control of Greenland for the last 200 years?
100%. I mean, honestly, I didn't see a single negative. I mean, we had crowds waving as we were landing. We went to restaurants, invited locals in. We went to the local bars. We went in there. We went to some of the cultural sites. Literally 100% positive.
Me personally, I want to stick with Danish government.
Well, most of the people that we talked with said that they did not support Trump's comments and found them offensive.
Og jeg kan læne mig fuldstændig op af Kim Kielsens udtalelse. Selvfølgelig er Grønland ikke til salg, og i øvrigt er Grønland ikke Danmarks. Altså Grønland er grønlændernes. Og Kim Kielsen har jo sagt det meget klart, selvfølgelig bliver der ikke noget tale om noget som helst frasalg af Grønland.
Donald Trump han siger, at det vil give god mening, fordi det vil være godt strategisk for USA, og Danmark de taber en frygtelig masse penge på at have Grønland. Har han ikke ret i det?
Jamen, altså, tiden er heldigvis over, hvor man køber og sælger andre lande og befolkninger, så lad os lade det ligge der. Spøj til side. Vi vil selvfølgelig gerne have et endnu tættere strategisk samarbejde med USA. Altså, vi betragter USA som vores absolut vigtigste allierede. Og jeg glæder mig til at få besøg af præsidenten, og synes, det er vigtigt for det dansk-amerikanske.
And then there was this gesture from Canadian Premier Doug Ford, which sporting a hat with the caption, quote, "Canada is not for sale," after Trump pushed the idea of a merger with the US to make Canada the 51st state.
Premiers meet with the Prime Minister.
It's hard to ignore that he was wearing, while speaking to reporters this morning, the message written on it, "Canada is not for sale," that hat. And that hat was created by an Ottawa company, and the founder, Liam Mooney, joins us now to talk about it. Thanks for joining us, Liam. So what did you think when you saw Doug Ford wearing that hat?
A real thrill, very proud to be Canadian, very proud to be an Ontarian, and just absolutely thrilled to be part of this conversation. And, it's a serious conversation, and it's one that we need to, get on right now.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have you as well, and your timing is great.
And while Ford promoted the hat during a brief news conference, if the response is anything to go by, it appears that most Canadians share the same sentiment, that being a resounding nah to the idea of Canada being MAGA territory.
And maybe you'll win a Stanley Cup.
We have health care.
But we have guns.
Yeah, well, we don't need guns.
Can I see your guns?
I don't have guns.
And I want to point to this interview Doug Ford conducted with Fox News propagandist Jesse Waters, which perfectly encapsulates the MAGA mindset regarding what he alleges would be a privilege to be colonized.
It'd be adding Montana, basically, for the Republicans, and electorally like a Texas for the Democrats. And I don't like that. But the fact that they don't want us to take them over makes me want to invade. I want to quench my imperialist thirst. I get it. You say that Americans don't have a problem with Canadians, and we don't. But it seems like you have a problem with us. Because if I were a citizen of another country and I was a neighbor of the United States, I would consider it a privilege to be taken over by the United States of America. That's what everybody else in the world wants. American citizenship. For some reason, that's repellent to you Canadians. And I find that personally offensive, Premier.
I mean, this is the most watched news network in America, by the way. But what privilege would one get if that were the case? Free healthcare? Nah. Free childcare? Are you kidding? Or what about peace of mind knowing your kid is safe at school? No can do, but here's what we can offer. A God Bless America Bible made in China, as well as a bumper sticker with Gulf of America on it.
A deal for you. This is what you get. Free healthcare. Universal free healthcare. No more one-year-olds who suddenly fall off the Medicaid list and their parents are in the news because they're trying to do a GoFundMe so they can get their daughter to a doctor. Universal free healthcare. And guess what? Those gun laws that your Congress is too afraid to pass because of the national gun lobby, we already got our strict gun laws. That's why we have the safest streets around the world, or at least in the United States, by the way, the most recent stats, 5.9 out of every 100,000 people is killed in a fatal gun incident versus 0.88 per 100,000 in Canada. That's because we have strict gun laws. California citizens, Oregon, Washington, safer streets. Here we already have good gun laws, and women have a right to an abortion under our universal health care system. But, we don't have to stop there. Donald, think about it. You could get rid of all these states that always vote Democrat. You know what else will take Bernie Sanders off your hands? Proud new Canadian citizen of the great province of Vermont. Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. We'd love to see you. Our maritime provinces already have deep, deep links and ties. Well, enough kidding around. But honestly, President Trump, get used to it. Canada is a sovereign nation full of, guess what, proud Canadians. We're not jingoistic. We don't boast a lot. That's one of the things we kind of have in common with Jimmy Carter. We're not a big nation for braggarts and bullies. We actually like to think we're of service in the world. We could do better. We can always do better. But we love our country. And it's a country. It's a nation. And we do not aspire to be a 51st state. So let's not hear that anymore. If it was a joke, it was never funny.
Can't get enough Midas? Check out the Midas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MidasPlus.com.
It's go time, like a shock in the system, one Trump advisor told CNN. Preparation for Trump's first day in office has been in the work since well before the won last year election. Conservative groups have spent the last 4 years exploring the bounds of executive power and looking for avenues Trump could take on a wide array of policies should he return the White House. It's going to be equivalent of sending George Patton into Europe to win World War II, a second Trump advisor told CNN, describing the rapid fire, very intensive executive action that have been prepared to start crossing of Trump's second term policy goals. More recently, plans for Trump's first day back in Oval Office has been a top priority for Sosie Files, the incoming White House chief